I want to talk to you about the meaning of life, or what it is to be a human being. Now, this is a huge topic, and I'm going to approach it from an evolutionary point of view, in that what it is to be a human being and what we do best as human beings is to adapt. Adaptability is the key in evolution. Adaptability is the key to happiness and contentment as well. And the modern malady that kills most people and makes most misery in this world is stress. And there really is no stress. Stress is a lack of adaptability. So being able to adapt is how we become successful as a species. It's how we are successful individually, and what makes the day complete. At the end of the day, when you look back at your day, when you feel content with what happened in the last 16 hours of being awake, it almost always has something to do with being content with how you adapted to the stress of the day. Now, most of the stress that people complain about is usually something made up. It's not real stress, because real stress is not having enough to eat, looking for shelter, having to go hunt, worrying about crops failing. Now these kinds of, worrying about invaders and war, those kind of stresses are paramount. And when we have those big stressors, we tend to adapt in a way that works well because we have to. But the kind of stress that we deal with day to day in the modern world, it's not stress like that. It's more about our ideas about how we fit in, about how we're pleasing or displeasing people in our world, and money, love, companionship, sex. These are the stressors of the modern world. Also, ideas around glamour, which, from an evolutionary point of view is ridiculous, but it's very important in the modern world. And I don't mean glamour like you look like a movie star. I mean the glamorous things in life, like vacations, going to fancy restaurants, going to events that cost money and that are very glamorous setting. And glamour has a lot to do with culture. And our culture is very glamour orientated, and it creates stress because there are the people that can afford all the glamour, and then there's those who just, all they can do is work and worry about bills and things like that, and they have a whole nother layer of stress. But no matter what or where you find yourself in life, being able to adapt has everything to do with whether you feel and are successful or not. Now, what is it that creates adaptability? For one, it's vitality. For instance, small children, they seldom worry about being adaptable. Now, they're not making big demands on themselves, but the things that they endeavor to do, they always have enough energy to go do it. So they're successful in their endeavors, and hence they are adapting to the situation. Furthermore, children do have a lot of stress to adapt to, and that's things like learning language, learning how to walk, learning how to deal with peer pressure, learning right from wrong. These are incredibly they're big stressors that we as adults tend to forget about. But children are incredibly adaptable, and it's because they have a lot of energy. We tend to not adapt well when we're tired, when we are frazzled, when we feel like we're at the end of our rope. Then we tend to not be very adaptable. So having a lot of energy is the first rung of a ladder of how to climb towards adaptability. And we can get more energy through breathing. We can get more energy through good nutrition. The second thing that gets in our way of adaptability is skill set, and this is difficult because we have to learn how to adapt to certain situations, and then once you learn the skill set, then the adaptability tends to be easier. And then there is the unfair aspect of adaptability, and that is just ability. Some people are more able than others. Some people are more intelligent than others. Some people are more physically gifted than others. But whatever or wherever we find ourselves in life and this spectrum of limitation, we can always do our best to adapt. And rather than seek happiness and things and accumulation of money and all these things that we've been told are going to make us successful, perhaps we can change our perspective and just look at each day as a challenge to adapt to the things that come to us and we have to conform to and adapt to and rise up to. We can always do that. And life can become more fulfilling if we think of it in terms of adapting or not adapting rather than being successful or failing. Because success, there's always somebody behind you that's more successful, and success is very short-lived. The successful always fall. And failure is short-lived as well, because if we don't give up, we will overcome failure. But adaptability is endless. And it's something that is there every day of our life. Even our final day on earth, there's adaptability. The adaptability is the human endeavor. It truly is our job, day in and day out. Focus on adaptability and get good at forgiving yourself when you fail, and realize that you just have to not work harder, but apply yourself in perhaps a different angle and adapt to the situation and find contentment that creates a happy human life.